Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Magic Mics, proudly sponsored by CoolStuffInc.com, Mana Traders, as well as Twitch subs and Patreon supporters just like yourself. I am Evan Irwin. We get started each week by saying hello to my two co-hosts, Power Dragon.
Hey, y'all are still willing to put up with me, so it's awesome to be here.
He's still here, woo! He put up with us. Ruben Bressler.
Yeah, exactly. You put up with us, so, you know, it goes both ways.
There you go. So if you missed our pre-show, patrons and subs to this channel get access to that extended version early. We talked all about the best sets for each year of Magic, and that was really cool, starting in 2000. That was neat, as well as some other stuff. You want to talk about movies and whatnot. We kick it off with our first pick in our giveaway. Get your chance at $50 worth of anything at CoolStuffInc.com by typing !Raffle in the chat, but sub first to get 2 chances to win, and support your favorite streamer with your suggestions at the end of the show to see who we raid tonight. That is thanks to our sponsor, CoolStuffInc.com. You can find cool stuff in stock every day. We will be at Vegas this weekend. It'll be rad. You should check it out. Speaking of, that brings us into our first pick, which is Vegas is this weekend. MagicCon Vegas is incoming. Lots of people are out there and should be having lots of fun. Worlds is happening while we're out there in Vegas, which is very cool. So go Jim Davis, fighting under the CSI banner, which is great. So good luck to him. And yeah, what do you guys think about Vegas so far?
Dude, I will give them this. Like, they're at least trying some new things, right? There's some new offerings, some new things to do. And I feel like we've been seeing a slow evolution of the MagicCons with each one, right? Each one's like, okay, let's try this. Let's add some panels. Let's have these speakers. Let's change how we're using the cosplayers. The cosplay contest itself has gotten ridiculous. Some of the outfits and people are pushing forward, the prizes being bigger. So like, yeah, this is just like one more level on top of it. And now they're doing stuff to try to promote some creators, which is really cool. So like, we're slowly turning this into a bigger thing. Just like I told people, like the last year it was the first one, right? So let them get a few under their belt, figure out what's working, what's not. So far, it seems like we're still progressing. So let's keep it up.
And you're going, right?
I am. I will be there. I have a whole bunch of stuff I made to give away to people, so you can come see me in the arena space, in the creator corner, whatever they're calling it now. There's tons of stuff going on. I'll be playing Commander with people. I'm gonna be everywhere. Actually, here's the thing too. I actually have a belief that when I do these types of things, they're business, right? Mm-hmm. I go there to market, promote, do stuff for brands I'm working with, whatever. I actually don't sign up for events for any of these. Like, so if anybody's expecting to play against me, like, come find me in the open play space. Come find me playing Commander, right? I can meet more people and do more, and I don't want to tie myself up for 4 to 6 hours doing one thing and maybe getting to interact with like 6 or 8 people during that time.
Yeah. If you're there, and you're part of the ambassador program,
yeah.
So if you're there doing what used to be, I think it was spell slinging, was like, come to the spell slinging area and meet people. If you're doing that, then yeah, you really don't have time to sign up for stuff. And you know, it seems like Reed Pop is getting their feet under themselves, still trying to figure out how to run a Grand Prix, even though lots of people have done that before.
I have one knock to interrupt you on conventions as a whole, and Reed Pop seems to be the most like the biggest perpetrator of this. But if you're going to invite somebody to your show, whether they're going to be on a panel, they're going to be a guest host for your cosplay contest, whatever, at least give them like the mid-level goodie bag, whatever.
Right.
Sure. Like, there's a lot of people that will get invited to their stuff, wherever, and they're like struggling to get a request for like a weekend badge. And it's like, these people are giving you things and time and preparation to draw more people to your event. So like, just give them a badge and a bag with like whatever the basic stuff is or whatever. It's not asking for too much.
I agree.
Apparently there's going to be a particular spot at the show that is sponsored by IHOP. That is the International House of Pancakes, for those guys who don't know.
I'm with it.
They posted here, something magical is happening at IHOP. Tap your mana and sign up for our rewards program for exclusive Magic the Gathering arena content. I don't know anything about that, but I do know for Jace, you get the blueberries. Mm-hmm. For Liliana, you get the chocolate with the chocolate chips.
Oh, chocolate's good. Chocolate's also
good. I'm good with that.
Chandra gives you the strawberries. Okay. Yep. And then what happens up here in the top left for the green and the white again?
I don't know. I would
vanilla.
Caramel and vanilla. Maybe.
I think Johnny just has a bigger stack than everybody else or something. Like,
well, he is a big dude. He is a big dude.
So I was going to make an IHOP finisher, and one of the punchlines was going to be damage on the stack, because that's the punchline. I needed to share that one because that was the best punchline of the bunch.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's an interesting. I love it that Magic does these partnerships these non-native partnerships. The Cheez-Its one was great. All of this, being sponsored by stuff that isn't directly card supplies related is great. So anything to reach the wider masses. And I've played a lot of games at International House of Pancakes. I have a good story about this, actually. I've played a tournament game at an International House of Pancakes because the game store we were in, or the location we were in, had to close.
Yeah.
We were playing in like a dining hall or like a banquet hall, rented out by the convention, and we couldn't play there anymore. But the IHOP across the street was open. So we played the top 8 in the IHOP.
Yep, I've been there with Waffle
Houses. That is a true story.
Dude, I've done that a couple of times in Houston. That happened.
Yeah, it happens all the time. You have to go to Applebee's or Waffle House or
if
IHOP.
I recall correctly, I think it's Alex Hayne who told this story. If I recall correctly, Alex Hayne won a finals of a PTQ on the hood of a car in a parking lot. If I recall correctly, I think that's the story.
That is the grinder life, man. I'm telling you, in the mid to late 2000s, you did whatever
what we could to get by.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man,
you had to be there.
These young bucks don't know, man. Like I played a pre-release at a motor speedway.
Nice. That's a good one.
In a little bitty town called Ennis, Texas, which is just south of Dallas.
Oh man,
true story. It was the Tempest pre-release.
I'm trying to think of some other weird places I've played tournaments because we're on this IHOP topic.
Sure. I mean, I've played tournament matches on floors. I've played tournament matches in other restaurants and things. No problem. We're like, the judge and everybody just kind of follow you on into the restaurant, and they're just like, okay.
There was a bad one we played in this like junky motel that. We set up the tables like on the inner area. It was like one of those motels where like all the rooms faced inward. So there was like a lobby type area with like a pool, but with all the bodies in the pool, it got so steamy and gross. It was like the water was condensing on the ceiling. I
saw BBD face Tommy Ashton in the finals of a PTQ at a mall in Maryland. On some of the like food court tables is where they had the finals of that PTQ.
Nice. Now the Creator Arena is the one actually being sponsored by IHOP. So if you're in the Creator Arena, you're
we have no clue what it is other than that it exists right now. I will find out when I get there.
Nice.
Right. A bunch of signage, maybe some coupons or something.
But I told people for years that Magic has done a lot and made a ton of money only being Magic. Right. It was until recently we didn't have crossover with all these other products. We weren't on cereal boxes or whatever. It was just Magic. So this new era, I'm kind of into and reconnecting with some players who may have just quit playing. Their lapsed players. Maybe they started families or whatever. It's like, oh, yeah, I remember Magic and like, let me check this out. Let me see what's going on.
It's also hasn't been that recently since Magic even acknowledged that the secondary market existed. 2015 was the first time they held a tournament in Vegas. They just didn't even want to go to Las Vegas for fear of being associated with the G word.
You are correct.
But you know what though?
Stopping for a long time.
So did the NFL, and now DraftKings get commercials on every game. They have a team in Vegas.
Wasn't the first one like 2013? That was the first Modern Masters, right?
Yeah.
Sounds about right. Either way, it took them many, many, many years before they were just like, okay, fine, we'll go to Vegas because everybody wants to go.
But it sounds like a great time. I'm excited that Worlds is happening. I'm excited. Again, I'm going to reiterate that my favorite thing from the Worlds conversation we had last week, which if you missed, check out last week's podcast. But my favorite thing on the conversation is there's a minimum payout. If you qualified for Worlds and you flew to Vegas, you at least get reimbursed for your weekend, which is my favorite thing.
And pocket check, because it was $4,000. $4K, the minimum. Yeah.
That qualify for the World Championships, you should get some money.
Absolutely. So, and good luck to all those playing. It's weird. It's weird. but I like to give kudos to Wizards when they do good, awesome stuff. And sometimes it's just a Reddit post that includes all of the stuff about the World Championship and tells people when it's happening and tells people where to watch. And here's some links you can go to. And I know it's a little silly, but like, they've not done that a few times where you're just like, guys, we need to promote your own stuff.
That's great.
Credit to Wizards too. Yeah, go ahead.
This is the first time they've done anything like this. How many times on this show have we been like, there was a major tournament last weekend, none of us heard of it.
Right.
And we're paying attention. We follow all of the Twitter accounts. We're looking for the information. Yeah. We simply didn't know it was happening. This Reddit post in the Magic TCG main Reddit has done more to advertise the game to lifers like us than anything in the past year.
I will say in the last at least 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks, I've seen posts show up on Twitter. I've seen stuff on Arena. They've had stuff on there. They've had stuff on the magic.gg page. I think I saw a banner ad somewhere promoting it. So I'm like, okay, you were making sure people know about the World Championships in Vegas.
Good. Excellent. Now, I beg you, I will beat this drum, okay? Twitch drops. We need Twitch drops. Give me something for tuning in, and I swear to God, you will have numbers like you cannot believe.
It is not as simple as saying, "Hi, Twitch, we would like Twitch drops." Right. It is more difficult than that.
That's correct.
But you're right.
Requires programming.
It would help a lot to get Twitch drops.
It would be unbelievable, and I'm telling you, but just knowing how Wizards struggled to try to get people to tune in, knowing that we went through the whole we're an esport now and paying to be embedded in certain pages so that their numbers could look good and so on. Like, you can get the real organic numbers. Just give us something for it. And I know it takes work, it takes setup, but the payoff will be crazy.
We don't need much.
We don't need much. We really just give me a style, give me a freaking
shiny
sleeve,
back.
Something, something silly. Either way, that's a whole thing. So let's move on to the first pick here to gather the townsfolk. Thanks to our sponsor, Mana Traders, the best tool to enhance your Magic Online experience. Use the code MagicMikes for 12% off your next subscription with Mana Traders and tell them that we sent you, because they're great for sponsoring the show. We appreciate it. So it was announced here that we are going to have a secret lair from John Avon, and some of the artist secret layers have not been bad or anything, but some have been more impactful than others. And this one is really, really impactful. This one has some incredible cards in it. Let's pull them up here. Emrakul the Promised End. This is a $70+ card. This is also a card that when it was not in Commander Masters jumped from like $45-ish to $70-ish plus dollars. So that to me, as we were discussing, I think this was put in place and these cards were picked before any of that ever came out, before any of that was finalized or whatever. Like, oh, we won't print Emrakul in the Master set. It's going to come out in the Secret Lair. Well, now the Secret Lair is going to like double up your money, because not only there's that, there's Progenitus, which is like a $3 or $4 card.
Yeah.
They print a lot of it, but okay. Yeah. Brainstorm that features his son, which I think is amazing. And Sarah Angel that features his wife, which is...
That Sarah Angel is insane.
It's gorgeous.
It's so good.
It's so gorgeous. So you've got Progenitus, Emrakul the Promised End, Brainstorm, and Sarah Angel as your options here. And this is going to be, $40 non-foil, $50 foil per usual. This is a slam dunk from the top rope. You would have to work to lose money buying this set of Magic cards. That's pretty much where I'm at on that.
Yeah, this is and also traditionally, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the artists get to select from a list of cards. Is that correct?
I think it's something like that. Whenever they do like an artist feature, they can request certain cards, and I think 1 or 2 are given to them.
This shows a savvy understanding of the secondary market from John Avon, in my opinion.
If he chose those, right?
If he chose these, Sarah Angel, Brainstorm being your common and your uncommon is like perfect, because those are a 4 of in every Legacy deck and a card that people collect all the angels, right? Perfect. And then 2 other cards that are big finishers in legacy decks or big legends that people want to have, popular commanders sometimes, and one of them that's obviously more expensive than the other one. But this is like a really quality 4 cards for any Secret Lair.
I just think what I find interesting is that when I heard John Avon was going to do a Secret Lair, I immediately thought he was going to pick 4 lands.
It's true.
Sure.
Really just pick up common, uncommon, rare, mythic, or whatever. But no, this is actually really cool. A nice surprise. And you get to see him showcase his art style on something that aren't lands.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And, we don't always get to see really personal touches like his wife, Pat, being on the Sarah Angel illustration, which is gorgeous. And, Brainstorm, which is fantastic. And his youngest son, James, is on there. Just brilliant stuff to have both a really, really personal connection to the man himself. Also really making it worth it in terms of value for your dollar, for what you're getting out of it. It's some of the best of both worlds. They don't always come together this well. And that's why it's sort of noteworthy. Not just to like sell Secret Lairs, but like, no, man, like this is actually pretty sweet. In a variety
we actually
of
haven't
ways.
talked about any Secret Lairs in a while.
It's been a minute. And God bless us. Kind of a slow news week. You're gonna have to forgive us because we're kind of popping into another Secret Lair story. This being that, did you know that Hasbro PulseCon is happening and still exists?
I don't.
Yeah.
And was happening like this weekend on top of the MagicCon. And on top of all of those things, they're also going to have a Secret Lair for Littlest Walkers that you can only buy during the show or during the online convention thing or whatever.
Okay.
So that's the thing. And traditionally, some of these like HasCon Secret Lair things have been really valuable because you got to know that it's happening. You're not buying it off the Secret Lair website. You're buying it off like the Hasbro toy website thing.
Yeah.
And as a result, they're really rare.
Yeah, and they do this for all their brands. So like there's usually like a Transformer thing, some like Star Wars vehicle. Like, so you're going to see a lot of rare items put up that are all going to sell pretty affordably and probably be worth like 2 or 3 times their value afterwards.
So where is this event happening?
It's an online event.
It's an online event, yeah.
And so at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time, the Magic the Gathering product showcase is occurring. And I think the whole thing is being streamed.
That sounds about right.
So that will be a thing. I don't know what they will be revealing at Hasbro PulseCon. But
my guess is it's probably going to be some Doctor Who related stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, what is in the Littlest Walkers? Do we know?
We don't know yet.
I'm guessing based on the last version, it's probably another 5 Planeswalkers that they just didn't do last time. Because I think last time it was just like the core 5.
Okay.
So I think it was Jace, Liliana, Chandra, Ajani, Nissa. I think is what we did.
But so now we'll get Garrick and Elspeth and 3 other Planeswalkers.
Yeah, probably. Vivian, like who knows? Yeah.
So and it's hosted by Thu Adams. I think I say that Thu.
Yeah.
And Dan Larson, who I love this guy. If you don't watch Secret Galaxy on YouTube, you should check that out. They do awesome reviews of like old TV shows and old movies and old sort of culturally relevant pop culture stuff. He's great. So that's really cool. That'll be fun. That said, let's go ahead and move on here into some of the most desperate of ravings. Now, if you didn't know, Magic Arena is having some of their anniversary celebrations right now. I believe they're 4 years old at this point?
Yeah.
5 years old.
Is it 5 years? 5 years old?
Yeah.
Goodness, time flies. So there's 5 years. So you should check your inbox on Arena every day. I think yesterday they gave us some sort of card style. Today, I think everybody got a 2019 core set booster.
Yeah.
Which was like, kind of like weird, but sure.
Incredible.
Thank you.
What a great. Hey, it's free. I'm not going to turn
100% free. But you do lose it if you don't use it. So you need to jump in there and check on your stuff.
Okay.
This to me comes back to being like the whole 1000 XP thing we talked about like a month ago, right?
Yeah.
Like you have a really cool idea and a thing that could really motivate people. And you're like, let's give a card style. And I think it was a card that's not even that playable, right? So just like, all right, fine.
Well, I got a different one than someone had mentioned, so I was like, I guess they're all random.
Well, that's even worse.
It is kind of worse.
And then you get a booster of a 2019 set, which again, it's free. I get it, but like,
it's cool.
It's a 5-year anniversary,
but you're trying to motivate people to get on. Like, we could have done 5 or really cool cards that maybe even one for each of the formats in Arena or something that are really good. They get unique art or whatever, and you only have those if you logged in during the promotion, right? Sure. The other part of it is, why not let people get on, you know, in day 4, day 5 or whatever, and get the other ones? Like, it literally costs you nothing, and you're still in. Because the reality is, they might give something awesome on the 3rd day, right? So say tomorrow it's something really awesome.
Sure.
But somebody still may not even see that on social media for a day or two. So then they're like, oh, sweet, I'm going to log in and get it. And they're like, oh, wait, I can't get it. Why are they giving me this other thing?
Right, but they want to do it they want to get you 5 days in a row.
If they wanted to do that, they would just give us like 50 or 100 gold for logging in every day.
That's true.
Yeah,
right? Like, that ship has sailed. Like,
I think you can look at it like Marvel Snap recently came out with their PC version, and they had rewards that came out like every day for a week. And all of those rewards were good for a week. So as long as you logged in up to 7 days after the first reward, you could still get all of those rewards.
And they've done that with all their other promotions. Because if you miss a day, you log in, you have the little email thing, and you go get your rewards.
Yeah. And so you don't have to kind of punish users. And for what it's worth, that may be unintentional. Like, the way they had to do it was that they had to, pull it every day or whatever. That to me is what often happens when it happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, something that's like, why are you so kind of anti-user? And they go, well, because of the ways the systems work, this is the way we have to do it. That is fair.
That there might be a restriction or a complication there.
Right. We don't know. But what we do know is that, like, the rewards are not super impressive. They're not enough to make me like make a post on social media about it. You know what I mean? They're not like, oh my God, look what we got for the anniversary thing, or check out what you can get for free if you just log on right now. Like a free draft, for example. That'd be kind of rad.
Hell, easy win. We just did it, right? The best set from each year, you get like 2 or 3 of those boosters.
There you go.
Right? Like, that would have been fine.
Yeah. Or even just not even boosters, just 2 or 3 of those, like a card from every year.
Sure.
Like,
yeah,
give us 5 cards instead of 15.
Or like, or you could say something like, here's a pack from the most played set of this year, right? And you do it for 4 or 5 days, equal to
that works too.
Right. So the most played set in the 2018 was so and so, and here's your booster. Maybe that's what they were doing with the core set thing. I don't know, because they didn't explain it.
I can't imagine that to be true, though.
I certainly hope not. That wasn't the greatest set, but regardless. But it's nice that they're giving stuff away.
It's a free thing.
It's a free thing that's free.
Yeah, we can complain about the details, and we can.
And that's the tough part of me, right? I don't want to be that guy. It's like, you gave me a folded $100 bill or whatever.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
How dare you?
I don't want to be that guy,
right?
But at the same time, it's like, if this is done as a promotional thing, then make it worth it. Like, this is supposed to be celebratory,
right?
Right? Like, get people excited about it. Give us something to talk about. Make people feel bad if they missed it or whatever, because they got this super cool thing.
Yeah. Or, make it time limited for so-and-so, or make sure you log in by such and such time, or whatever. There's a whole variety of it. And, I also understand that, when you're in the corporate environment and you're trying to pitch these things to the higher ups, and they go, well, what's it going to cost us? And you go X hours of so-and-so, and, Y amount of value that we're providing to the players. And so, like, I get that. I understand that. But, at the same time, I think
that's fine.
They often go way, but I hate it. And I get it. I understand it, but no.
We haven't had it. That's fine. I get that, but you're wrong and I hate you.
But you're wrong and I hate you. And it's cool.
Old watchers will know that one.
Yeah. I know how the gears turn. I know how it works, but I also know that sometimes you should try to aim a little higher.
Sure.
Yeah.
Than a little lower, right? Because it's not always P&L at the end of the world. Not always profit and loss, So just a thing. Moving on here, someone noted that it was the 7-year anniversary from the last Walking the Plains.
No.
Now the new blood in Magic won't even know what we're talking about, if we're 7 years back.
Yep.
But the old school, the real ones, they know how special Walking the Plains was. It was incredible. It ran for 43 episodes, I think it was. Yep. And just incredible stuff from the fact that like I got to see them like when they filmed their first up in Philly. I kind of got to help them at Worlds, really communicate and negotiate with Wizards for them to be officially sponsored, which was really cool.
I got to be in it. I got to be in one, which was very exciting for me.
Perfect.
Yeah, up until it stopped happening, Sean Kornhauser and Nathan Holt made the best Magic the Gathering video content we had seen up until that point. And I don't think I don't think that even with myself and Evan and all of the other video content creators up to that point, there was no beating Walking the Plains up until it stopped in 2016. 2016.
It was probably the closest thing we had to a Magic docuseries.
It was pretty close. Yeah, I mean, and they went all the way as far as they could go. I mean, they made that. They made the Netflix special. Wasn't that the whole thing?
I think so.
Into the Battlefield, right? That was their
I think so.
Big hurrah there at the end, which was rad. But yeah, to have something that really documented those times, that was really showed what the community was about. You know, at this point, I think the Magic show is sort of akin to Kitty Hawk at this point in terms of like where Magic videos started. Like I got the plane up in the air and I filmed some Pro Tours and I talked to some R&D members. You know,
is notable.
It's fair. That was my leg up. That was my one bonus was I got there first.
Yeah, I am sad that it is not here anymore, but we are blessed to have creators like the Professor and Ristic Studies who are still making top flight content for YouTube.
And I mean,
I think it was good for setting the groundwork of like, hey, just because we play Magic doesn't mean we can't have higher quality stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because it doesn't seem like that, but 7 years is a long time, you know, and
it's a good long one.
I think we've kind of gotten used to seeing everybody shooting with better cameras and, you know, you're getting better shots from conventions now and people have learned to do all this editing, but it wasn't always like that.
I mean, at this point, I'm almost 7 years at Cool Stuff to give you an idea.
That's crazy.
Of how long it's been.
I left Texas 7 years ago.
There you go.
7 years ago. Well, this podcast started when I was living in Vegas.
Right. So about 7.5 years ago was when we started.
No, that was longer. That was 8.5 years ago.
It was 2015, right?
2015 when this show started. It was 2016 when the last Walking the Plains was out.
Right. God,
so that was 8 years ago.
Oh my Jesus. All right. Everything's
so I've been doing this show longer. How old am I? I've been doing this show longer than I can't do the math, but I've been doing this show we've been doing this show for 8 years.
A long ass time, man.
Dude, if it makes you feel better, I'm pretty sure I was on the first Magic podcast, if that means anything.
The oldest school.
Yeah, I mean, that's how long I've been around.
I mean, I love it. I mean, the whole tracing the path back and looking at some of the people who've been there along the way. And I mean, you know, look, I drug Ruben into this thing and he's still here. So I will take the good people with me.
I have you to blame for not being able to move on with my life.
I will do this, you know, like it's just like Sheldon said, you know, you surround yourself with excellent people.
Yep.
I've always trusted my gut.
The rest will take care of itself.
I'm telling you, I've trusted my gut the whole way and it's never driven me wrong before. So
and some more fun Magic Mike's trivia. When we were creating this show, we asked Nathan Holt if he wanted to be a co-host. But he had just had his first child and could not do it. And now that child presumably is 8 years old. So there's that.
Child's in like second grade.
Yeah, actually, here's another funny thing. Like my podcast when it was sold was actually hosted on Brainburst, which was the predecessor to CCG Player.
Sure.
Oh, so that tells you how old it is.
Londis, anybody?
I was just going to say, my first writing job was on Londis.com with Bill Stark as editor.
Yeah.
And then I moved on to the TCG Player blogs, where Ricky Hayashi was editor, followed by Bill Stark. Then I got brought on to Star City Games, where Steve Sadin was editor at first. Then Craig Stevenson, then Lauren Lee, who I wrote under all of those.
No, it was Craig Stevenson, then Steve Sadin.
Oh, I did it backwards then. So I got hired by Craig.
I don't think I've met those three.
And Ted Knutson.
I've met Bill and Ricky.
Yeah, Ted Knutson was my editor.
Yeah.
My first article was text articles. That's where I started in 2005. And my first article, I went and I showed my whole ass, because that's how I do. And I wrote an article that like all the pros were wrong about Mirrored Unlimited or something.
Oh no!
Oh yeah! Oh, I just stuck my whole foot. It's just like, let's taste that shoe. It was really bad.
It's a good way to get clicks, though.
It was a great way to get clicks. It was also a great way to get lots of people in the back then the SCG forums to just clown my ass as far as they could.
See, my first stuff I wrote for a magazine, and then I actually was writing a few things on the dojo, but then got paid to write for Pojo as they started doing Magic articles.
Nice. Yeah, the idea that, I mean, this was back when there was no premium, you know what I mean? There was no paywalls. It was just people writing, and I could get an audience, and I could say stuff that I was. And
we were all full of crap and thought we were it.
Oh my god! I'd done like 20 drafts on Magic Online, and I was like, I knew everything about this format. I figured out this.
Oh, dude! As soon as people started paying me to hear my opinion, I thought I was him. Let me tell you,
like, you were it, man.
So I just came up with the time frame that we could do. I am turning 37 in a month, less than a month, in 2 weeks. I have done this show for 8 years, which is a longer amount of time than the combined time that I wrote for, worked in office for Star City Games, and did the In Contention podcast.
Wow.
Longer than all three of those combined.
Nice.
That's a long time.
You know, at one point in time when I first started, still had some hair up there. I want you to know that. Still had real hair. Not just like I need to shave like hair. I mean like hair. You know what I mean? Like that was the whole thing. And it's funny because my kids just the other day, they were just like, Dad, we can't imagine you with hair. That just sounds so weird. And I'm just like, well, I had many, many years with hair, and it went okay for a long time. All right. Cool. Enough of the memory lanes. Let's go ahead and turn the corner here to the finisher. First up, we got to thank our subs and or pick our winners. So let's go ahead and do that immediately. Thanks to everybody who entered. Good luck to all who did.
And while he does that, a reminder, we are still in September, which means you get, I think, 25% off your subscription, and gifted subs also have a percentage off. You should also check your Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, see if you have a dangling Prime. Don't have to consult your doctor about that. That joke is funny every week. But what you can do is, if you have Amazon Prime and you're not using your free Twitch sub, you can consider using it here or for one of your favorite channels that you follow on Twitch.
Your boy is turning 43 in 4 days.
Wow.
43.
Happy birthday.
Thanks.
Because I won't talk to you before then.
Probably not. September 24th is my birthday, and here I am 43 years later after the 1980 I popped out of, which was fun. And being able to say that I've played this game for more than half of my life at this point. And
same.
Yeah, and just watching it come and go and being able to talk about it then, and really just have like literal, you know, I have those little breadcrumbs that I've dropped, that we've all dropped from our opinions about the game. Like we can actually go back and pinpoint, how did we feel about so-and-so thing happening or such and such leak going on? Well, I can go back and know my exact thoughts.
Our generation and because we have this career, you know, my grandkids will have hundreds of hours of content to go back and watch of grandpa at this age if they really want to. They won't.
Dude, they won't.
It's funny you say that. Like, even before the pandemic started, like I had the thought of, we are living in a time where if somebody were to go back and want to learn about a year in history, you could document from January 1 to December 31st, like every single not even major, every single minor to mid-level thing that happened every day of that year, because it's going to all be recorded somewhere. Like, isn't that crazy to think about? Like, because we speculate on previous history, but we live in a time where there would be the most accurate records of history ever.
Yeah, I mean, you can literally spin it together. And that's that's what I think a lot of people thought like the internet was going to turn into, right? It was like this database of truth, right? This everything is laid out clearly because no one's going to just make stuff up on the internet. That's crazy. Either way, good luck to all who entered. 3, 2, 1. Congratulations to Rabies78.
Hey, another winner.
Exclamation mark Rig. Congratulations to them.
I've got some folks to catch up to. I will try to get those done before Vegas.
Please do.
So that you guys can go to the booth and use your $50 gift certificate if you want to.
Very, very nice. Last week we missed MTG Pack Foils resubbing for 60 months.
Man.
Their 5-year sub anniversary.
Long time.
They've been here Scotty's been here forever. And I am greatly appreciative of Scott and his support of our show.
That qualifies as an OG for real.
That does. Thanks to Planets for subbing yesterday during our D&D romp. You can check out our entire Baldur's Gate 3 adventure has been documented, is up right now for all patrons. Little as $1.
You could watch our near-death experience.
Yesterday was the best one so far.
It was wild.
It is so stressful playing Baldur's Gate, specifically with Evan. But it has not fully killed us yet. So
I will smash an F5 and we will do absolutely something stupid.
For real,
it is wild.
We were probably like one more good hit from everything going sideways.
Yesterday was not our fault either. I feel like we didn't. Yeah.
Like I said, we like off camera, but like we were really on a path that we thought we were befriending a character. And they turned on us. So like,
and then all hell broke loose.
Yeah, that wasn't really our fault.
We did the best that we could. So thanks to a little loaf, Joe, the silent fourth member of Magic Mics for all these years, resub for 65 months.
Another one. Joe has been here forever and just incredibly appreciative of all the work he does for us.
Absolutely.
And for being with us this whole time.
Fan freaking tastic. We have some of the best fans ever. And with that, we're going to go ahead and turn the corner to the finisher. Magic Fest Vegas is this weekend, y'all. So as we get ready to untap, upkeep, bright lights, big city, tell me, what are a few of your favorite Vegas things, Ruben?
Well, as I just mentioned, I lived in Vegas for 7 years. I've been to a bunch of GPs and Magic Fests in Vegas. I've done a bunch of events and panels and been a special guest. One of my favorite things about Vegas is, though, the flight on the way in, which is full of optimism and commotion and joy. And then you compare it to the flight out being not that. And it is hilarious.
It is quiet.
Oh, dude. Even the babies are asleep leaving Vegas.
Everything is somber. We don't want to talk about it. I'm going to put my hat down.
People are drunk. They're broke.
I imagine a lot of people fly into Vegas, but then take the bus home.
The sad bus.
Probably.
Power Dragon?
If you've never been to Vegas, like immediately when you step off the plane, first things you see going through that concourse are those slot machines. Like literally nowhere else knows what they're about other than Vegas. Like that, the fact that you got slot machines, not only that, there's attendants there where you can just hit a jackpot on the way to wherever you're going. Like they get every dollar in, every dollar out.
It's so funny.
It is wild. Some people love the lights, the shows, the games, the sightseeing, the weather, the food. But my favorite thing in Vegas is the food, especially the free meals. Thanks, Jerry. That was my superpower for like a decade, was getting those free meals, y'all. I could snag a sick meal on someone else for years and years. It was incredible. I was on many an expense report.
Dude, I know they sponsor the show, but man, Jerry is a hell of a host.
Oh yeah,
like, he's incredible.
Legit.
Yeah. He is an awesome dude. And that said, that ends the live episode of Magic Mics. Thanks for joining us here to discuss all things Magic. Thank you, Power Dragon.
Hey, thanks for having me. And y'all don't forget, leave us a review. Say some good words.
Hey, this is my birthday. You can do it for my birthday. But you know what? For Evan, I'm going to pull up a thing and I'm going to review it and I'm going to say some stuff about Magic Mics. That would be really appreciated. Ruben Bressler.
Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Happy birthday, Evan, because I won't talk to you until you're 43. And have a good weekend. Have a good Magic Fest, Power Dragon.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to do my best.
Have a great time. As we move here to our final slide, I want to thank our sponsor, CoolStuffInc.com, our co-sponsor, Mana Traders, my co-host, Power Dragon, and Ruben Bressler. You guys for watching and listening. I hope you support us at patreon.com/magicmics. Please follow, like, tweet, favorite, share, subscribe to everything social that tells people we exist. Catch us online on our Discord, twitch.tv, at Magic Mics, on Twitter at Magic Mics Cast, our Magic Mics subreddit, and like the Magic Mics page on Facebook. Or join us here next week, same time, same place, for another episode of Magic Mics. Good night, everybody.